is it the most wonderful time of the year? Or is there a world outside our window and it's a world of dread and fear? The truth is, it's both. And how we navigate that is tricky. And I want to help you do that. Come on, let's get better together for Christmas. So back in the 80s, I think I was a sophomore in high school when Do They Know It's Christmas came out. I'm sure you're familiar with the song. It's a song about, it was written by Bob Geldof in response to what he saw in the news about the famines in Ethiopia. Got all his pop star friends in the UK to come out, record the song, smash hit. We make an album, then we do Band-Aid. It's a whole thing. And it was an amazing thing, an amazing movement. And I don't want to get into the fact that there's still a tremendous famine going on. We didn't necessarily change anything. That's not where I'm going with this. What I'm going with this is it was kind of the first time that we had a Christmas song that straight up pointed out how lucky we were and that we might slightly be hypocrites and that the world is actually really hard and scary, even when it's Christmas. And I think that line, there's a world outside your window and it's a world of dread and fear. I was putting on makeup this morning and I was listening and that song came on and I heard that line and I wrote it down in my little notes because I thought, wow, man, does that describe where we've been the past couple of Christmases, right? The reality is that I want you to join me in trying to hold in your mind two completely opposing paradoxical beliefs. That Christmas is the hardest, most depressing time of year, and Christmas is the most wonderful and joyful time of year. Because the reality is that as humans, we can and do hold opposing realities in our minds at the same time. We have the ability to do this. I've talked about this before, that you can be depressed and feel joy. People think depressed people just walk around sad all the time. That's not what it's like to live with lifelong chronic depression, right? Anxious people don't spend every second of their lives shaking and unable to breathe. We have a paradox that we live in. And maybe those of us who struggle with our mental health, maybe we've been gifted with a unique lens and understanding of the human condition, of the reality of how the human mind and soul works. I know that's a weird gift. It's a gift I would like a receipt for, because I would like to return it. But actually, no. I will be honest with you right now. It's a gift I would not return. I just turned 54. I don't remember a time in my life that I didn't struggle with these things. I think I was born this way. And then there was trauma on top of it. And so that's just sort of, enhanced it a little. Life is a little bit hard for me, but life is also wonderful for me. And I've told you guys this before, and I talk about it on Instagram a lot. I struggle. I've, depression, anxiety, feelings of hopelessness, and then I have MS on top of all that. Yet, I also have the most beautiful and wonderful life. I have a husband that I love, who loves me, and we're best friends. I have the most amazing son, and I have a house and a home in like a cute neighborhood with nice people. And these are things that I never thought I would have. I never thought that was possible for someone like me to have those things. But it is. And just as it is possible for someone with chronic depression and anxiety, with mental health fragility, to have a wonderful life filled with joy, it is also possible to be joyful at Christmas, even though it is also the hardest time of the year for people with mental illness. Actually, it's the hardest time of year for everyone, but it's also the best time of year for everyone. What? What now? That's the truth. And I want you to do with me something that I learned from my son. When he was little, we totally used to just, regardless of where I was psychologically, this place was decorated. We were playing the music, right? Because you were a little kid and it's about Christmas and it's about Santa and you're doing Christmas with Santa and you're doing cocoa with Santa and you're going and taking the picture and you're doing all the things, right? Because you're a kid and that's what you're supposed to do. And you know what? Doing that helped me. And then Caden got older and things got really hard for all of us for a lot of reasons. And I started letting the difficulty keep me from celebrating. And I remember Caden saying that I need the festive. He's like, come on, we have to decorate. I want to decorate a lot. I need the festive. Because my son is like the most self-aware human being alive. And he knew that the only way to combat his own demons, darkness at this time of year was with the light. With the red and the green and the gold and the silver and the sparkle and the glitter and the music, all of that. And he's right. He was right. I could sink deep down into the darkest pit at this time of year. It's a very emotionally fragile time of year for people. For so many reasons. And I'm not going to get into all those reasons because there's a limitless number of reasons. There's the financial pressure. There's the family pressure. There's the social pressure. There's the pressure you put on yourself. There's the pressure from the world at large. There's the fact that we're living in the middle of pandemic world. There's all of these things going on that could push me down into the darkness that I do not want to get out of until January 2nd. So many times my husband and I look at each other and we're like, is it January 2nd yet? We could do that and we could stay there, but we would miss out. We would miss out on the fun. If you kind of feel like that, you actually have to overcompensate. And that's my biggest tip for you. Overcompensate. I want you to over-festive. You're like, oh, that just feels like so fake because I don't feel it, Melissa. You don't understand. I don't feel it this year. I don't. Guess what? I didn't either. I was having a really hard time. That's why our house isn't decorated yet. I was having a really hard time. And then I talked to my smart speaker in my kitchen and I said, Alexa, play Christmas music. And she was playing Christmas music and I was cleaning up and I was crying a little bit and I was just feeling really horrible about myself and about just like everything. And then Rocking Around the Christmas Tree came on, bopping a little. And then that Mariah Carey song, come on. All I Want for Christmas Is You. Come on, that's a bop, right? Like, you can't help it. And then, before I know it, I start to feel a little bit better. Dang it. And I started watching some Hallmark Christmas movies. Okay, feeling a little bit lighter. Then I got out my Christmas clothes. Felt a little bit better. And we're going to decorate this weekend. We've been waiting for Bill's knee to get a little bit better because, I can't lift the boxes, so we need his help. And now I've started, there's things going on in the community around Christmas, and so I'm in it now. Now I'm in the it's Christmas, right? I'm listening to my Christmas music, and I'm wearing antlers, and I know that does don't have antlers, but come on, these are so freaking cute. Got them from ColourPop with this makeup palette that I bought. It's the Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer ColourPop palette. Had to have it. Rudolph is a completely problematic story and movie, but anyway, the makeup's really good. That's what I figured out I needed to do, and I learned it from my child. I need to force myself into the festive, and then the amazing thing that happens is the festive kind of takes over. And I want you to understand something. Again, polarity, paradox. All of the reasons and all of the pain that would bring me down into the darkness and make me want to not get out of bed, they're all here. They're right here with me. We're all together in here. And they are here together with the person dancing to Rockin' Around the Christmas Tree. We are all here together. And I am just saying that I'm boosting up the joyful side. I'm not ignoring the other side. I'm honoring it. I tell it. I know you're there. I feel you. But I don't, and I can't. And I set a boundary with myself that I won't let it take away the Christmas spirit. Yes, you can set boundaries with yourself. And I think this is the most important boundary that I set every single year. It's a hard one, especially these last 2 Christmases. It's been hard because it's like, gosh, it's like you're really gutting it out, right? But I know that if I lean into the festive, like I need to get to the mall. I'm going to the mall on Thursday with my friend Marsha. We're going to walk around the mall. We're going to Christmas shop. We're going to go to Barnes & Noble. We're going to have like Christmassy drinks and, like tea or whatever. And it's going to feel good and it's going to be fun. And like, we got to go take a drive around in the car and look at the Christmas lights. So you got to do that kind of stuff with Caden and Bill. And leaning into that stuff really does help. So that's my number 1 tip for you, is to just go ham. Get some Christmas t-shirts and sweatshirts. Get some cute little jingle earrings. Get some whatever. Get a Santa hat. Go for it. Really. Even if you're not feeling it, it's a fake it till you feel it kind of thing. I swear, it really does help. Is it going to pull you completely out of the darkness? No, but any little bit of light and joy you can get, man, grab that, grab for that. Now, I have a couple of tips that will help you with this. These 2 are extremely important, extremely important. And I've struggled with how to word this, and I've filmed this multiple times. Now I'm just done looking at the notes and I'm just free-forming this. Okay, alcohol. Alcohol is not your friend if you are a person with mental illness. If you are on any kind of medication, alcohol, really not a good idea. I say all of that as a person with mental illness who is on multiple medications who occasionally consumes alcohol. Now, my advice to you is to not consume alcohol, because alcohol really messes everything up in your brain chemistry. And if you are on medication, it really messes up everything that your medication is trying to do to help you. And if you notice, if you were to journal this, you would be able to see the connection between having a few drinks one night and how you feel for the next 2 to 3 days, mentally and emotionally. And every single time I do this to myself, I'm like, why do I do this to myself? And it's really hard at this time of year because this is probably the biggest time of year, except for Super Bowl, for the sale of alcohol, right? It's just all about parties and drinking and spiked eggnog and this and that and the whole thing, and everybody's going out. But I really, really, really strongly urge you to limit or stop your consumption of alcohol during the holiday season. Now, if you cannot do that, if you don't want to do that, okay? Here's my second tip. So let me give you a scenario that I've done many times in my life. Gonna meet the girls for dinner. Okay, we go out, meet them at the place. Our table's not ready. Everybody's at the bar. They're having a cocktail. I haven't eaten maybe since lunch, or if I'm fasting, not at all that day. Really dumb for me to say, I'll have a glass of Chardonnay. It's dumb, okay, but I've done it. Okay, so now I'm drinking this on an empty stomach. There's forget steak and a sweet potato. There's not even like a crumb in there. But let's just say I just like quickly ate some McDonald's. So now I've got sugar and grease pumping through there, and I throw some Chardonnay on top of it. Okay, that's a recipe for disaster, because that stuff, that alcohol is gonna hit me fast. When the alcohol hits you fast, it means your inhibitions are gone way faster. There's just, you go from 0 to party! way faster than if it took longer for the alcohol to process through your system, which means, so now I've had that drink and I'm already feeling it because I don't have a steak and a sweet potato in me. And then we go and we sit down and we're looking at the menu and everybody's talking, and then the lady comes over or the guy comes over to somebody comes over to the table and they say, ladies, can I get you a drink while you look at the menu? And then everybody's like, yeah, I'll have another one of these. And I'm like, woo, yeah, right? So now I have another drink because my inhibitions are so low because that other one hit me so fast. Now I'm on my second drink I have not eaten yet, all right? This is not going to end well. Even if I only have 2 or 3 glasses of wine, trust me, that's gonna screw me up for days. It really, really is. And it's not worth it, okay? It's not worth it. Not worth it. That's the first tip. And just like get a lot of fiber and protein in you somehow. Not a protein drink. I mean like massively load yourself up with fiber and some kind of protein. Animal protein, honestly, because it takes so long to digest, that kind of helps. But if you can't do that, just do something. But do not go out there on an empty stomach. Make sure you've got lots of fiber in you. Okay, second thing. Oh, and also drink a lot of water the whole time you're doing this. Now, second thing I want you to limit or avoid is sugar. What? It's cookie season, right? I mean, 'tis the season to consume mass quantities of sugar, Melissa. Yes, it is. But guess what? Sugar is the biggest mood fucker on the planet. Sugar is maybe worse than alcohol for your mental health. You're like, I don't think that's true. I think it is because it's insidious. I think it's true because you could start eating sugar from the second you wake up and consume stuff all day long that's high in sugar, like, great, and then like, you know, but you can still function to some degree. Sugar and hitting yourself with a lot of just cookies and cake and stuff at this time of year. All right, sugar, you spike, you feel great, you crash, you feel miserable, then you're gonna eat some more sugar. You just put yourself on a roller coaster. And if you notice, if you take the time to, and maybe you just don't have time, so just take it from me because I have done this. I can track my depression, particularly depression more so than anxiety, with sugar. I can track it by, okay, I ate a lot of sugar for a few days, and then I have a few really bad days emotionally with depression. And when I've talked to my various doctors and they've gone over my care with me and what their care instructions are, it's always been the same. No alcohol, plenty of sleep, exercise, avoid sugar, balanced diet, and then of course therapy. Those are all really hard to do at this time of year. They are. They are. So maybe you're not hitting the gym. Maybe you're not going for a walk because it got cold, but you can move your body. You can dance to some Christmas music. Move your body every day somehow. It's really, really important for your mental health. Super duper important. So those are but the sugar and the alcohol is my 2 big ones, okay? The next thing that I encourage you to do is to give of yourself to others. 'Tis the season. Now we do this hopefully year round. You are giving of yourself, you're volunteering, you're donating your time, you're being there for other people, you're part of support groups, you're something, right? But there's so many opportunities at this time of year to be there for others. And there is nothing that will soothe a depressed person's soul more than helping someone else in need. I cannot even explain what this does. I am a person who sometimes feels like when things get very, very dark, I feel like I am of no use to this world. Okay? If you go there, like if you're a person who goes there with me to the, you know, I have no purpose, I'm a mistake, shouldn't be here, all that kind of crap, volunteer. Like, helping others has become the main thing that I do. And I think it's the thing that keeps me well as can be expected, given everything that I'm working with here. And it's just such a good feeling. And it's so good to see other people doing it. It's so life affirming to see other people giving of themselves, because we're so inundated in the media with all of these images of people being crap to each other and just being horrid. And the reality is that that's not how life is. There is a world outside our window, but it's not a world of dread and fear. It's not. It's a world of people who love and care. That's who's really outside the window. And this is the time of year where people act on that more than any other time of year. And that can be so helpful for a hurting heart. Not just to give of yourself, but to see others doing it. And know that this world isn't as bad as they want us to think it is. And it isn't. I'm not saying the world doesn't have problems. I'm just saying that the vast majority of human beings on this planet are good people who care about other people. They're people with the capacity to love. They are compassionate people. They're giving people. You know, I saw a thing on Twitter the other day and it was a guy who took a picture of this long line at the supermarket. And he said, we were on this long line, and the lady at the front of the line, her WIC card wasn't working. And so, like, if you're not familiar, WIC is like if you're on like food stamps, where you get like it's like a sort of like a debit card. Instead of using food stamps now, we have like a debit card. And that means that she's trying to buy food for herself and her family, and her card's not working. Okay? And she's holding up the line. And you know how usually nice people are about that, right? Not? And he said, so then an argument broke out on the line, and the argument was about who was going to pay for her groceries, because everyone online in front of him was offering to pay for her groceries. That's not a cruel world. That's the world that we really live in. Strangers online in a grocery store, stressed out on a weekend, a woman who's trying to buy some food, and she's having a problem, and she's holding up the line, and you know she's freaking out a little bit about that, and strangers are now saying, let me get it. And then somebody else is like, no, I've got this. And he said that it ended up that the person right in front of him won. They won the argument. They got to pay for her groceries, and they also gave her $100 cash and said, Merry Christmas. That's Christmas, okay? That's the Christmas that I want you to feel, and I want you to experience. And that's why I want you to get out there and volunteer and help people, because you will see it. It's not just about you doing it, it's about you seeing that other people do it. It blows my mind. So many beautiful, wonderful things happen at this time of year. And that's why we keep doing it. I know. It's a capitalist consumerism holiday. It's about money and all of this stuff. But it's not just that. It really isn't. It's so much more than that. It's a time of year where we try to remember to care about people. Where we're in this process, we're in this like consumerism flurry of trying to buy gifts for other people, and sometimes we lose the message of that. But at the same time, there's the gift giving and the seeing people enjoy the gifts that you've given them. And that feels so good. And there's the giving to charity, and there's the serving Christmas Eve and Christmas Day dinners to the homeless. And there's all of these different things that are going on that are beautiful and are life affirming. And I want you to lean into them. I want you to lean into the Hallmark movies. You know, I made fun of them for years. And then last year was tough, right? 2020 Christmas was like, whoa. And 2020, I mean, it's still difficult now, but 2020 was a difficult year because one of my friends took his own life over the summer, and it was a tremendous shock. My memories around him are around Christmas and New Year's, and so, you know, that was hard. And I was like, I don't know, I must have just turned on Hallmark and started watching a movie, and I was like, you know what? I started watching like The Prince for Christmas and all. I was like, you know what? These movies are stupid, but they are so pretty and colorful and light and all of these things that they actually, I don't know, it kind of helped. So maybe lean into the Christmas movies. Just saying. Another thing that I would like to strongly urge you to do this holiday season is to refine and reinforce your boundaries. Like, oh no, not the boundaries again. You just talked about the boundaries. Boundaries are huge this time of year. Financial boundaries. Really, don't go into debt. Like, just don't. And if you can't, if giving presents to the people in your life would mean financial hardship for you, be honest about it. Do not put yourself in financial jeopardy. Don't be ashamed. Be honest. It's called a boundary. It's called, hey guys, you guys know this has just been like a really, tough year, and work has been spotty and everything. And quite honestly, I just can't really, spend a lot of money on Christmas. So do you guys want to maybe do like a grab bag or maybe like a secret Santa? Because in reality, everyone is feeling the financial pressure of Christmas. And pretty much everywhere that I've ever been that I've said, hey, do you guys want to do like a grab bag or a secret Santa instead of us all trying to buy gifts for each other? Everybody's always said yes. Like the ladies that I play like mahjong with, that we do book club with, we're kind of like we're all getting together on the 15th, and we're doing one of those like grab bags, but where you can steal the present game. And a lot of these ladies have significantly more money than I do. But it was the lady who has the most money who said, okay, let's set a $25 limit. And that's so easy, because that's the one thing I was worried about. I was like, oh God, what do these ladies do for a grab bag? And the reason is because you have to be really creative when you've only got $25. So put that out there to your family. My family did it for when the kids were little. We did between the adults, it was like, look, we're all going for our lungs on our kids. Let's just do a secret Santa, okay? And it was so fun. It was really, really fun. I only have one person to buy stuff for. We did like a $50 limit. It was great. Then when the kids got older, you know what we did? We were like, hey guys, you know what? Let's just not exchange presents. Let's just be together. You're like, not presents? Yeah, that's a thing you can do too. So be honest. And once you open up to other people about setting a financial boundary around gift giving, you will see that they are all very responsive to this idea, because everybody is stressed the F out about how the heck am I going to do this? And so that's really important. Another boundary that I feel is really important for us to talk about here is about family. We did address this a little bit in the boundaries video, so I definitely want you guys to go check that out. You can listen, it's like a podcast. You know me. Elvira does amazing visuals, but you don't have to see her amazing visuals. Oh, sorry, I'm so uncomfortable, my foot fell asleep. You don't have to see her amazing visuals to get the benefit of my wisdom. So another boundary type thing is around where do you actually go and what do you actually do and who do you spend your time with around the holidays. If there are toxic people that you don't want to be with around the holidays, don't be with them. You're like, I can't do that. You're like, maybe going home for Christmas is really, really, really hard for you. Maybe the traditional Christmas events in your life would put you in a situation where you need to be in the same space as perhaps someone who has harmed you in the past, maybe someone who hurt you when you were a child. And for many, many reasons, you have not brought this in to the open. I totally understand that. But you put yourself in this situation where every year you have to kind of go and relive this trauma. Do you have to? Here's a great way to not do that. And it's a boundary. It's saying to your family, guys, I love you so much. I'm going to see you at other times of the year, but I really want to go volunteer at a homeless shelter this year for Christmas. I really want to go volunteer at a soup kitchen. That's what I'm going to do. That's what I'm doing with my Christmas. And sure, people might get mad at you, but really, how mad can they actually get in front of you without making themselves look like jerks, right? Now, I don't want you to say that you're volunteering in a homeless shelter or at a soup kitchen and then stay home and be miserable. I want you to actually go out and do it. Go spend the day giving of yourself to other people instead of spending the day just repeatedly being stabbed in the heart. I'm just saying. It's an option. It's an option. Why not? Why couldn't you do that? I think especially, you could say, there's just been such a horrible couple of years for people financially. There are entire families that are homeless right now and living in shelters, and I really want to help them, and I want to go be there for them. And go do it. Do it. Just do it. I honestly and truly believe, because I know, because I've experienced it, because my child showed it to me, that you can make yourself feel better at Christmas by getting into the whole festivities of it all. And it takes effort, and especially when you're down and you can't get out of bed and all of the things that we've talked about. But I gotta tell you, clipping on my little antlers here, putting on these little earrings, kind of felt cute and fun. And anytime I can get a little squirt of dopamine from doing something cute and fun, instead of a dangerous squirt of dopamine from shoving a pint of Ben & Jerry's in my face, it's a good thing. Yes, it is. So think about the things that I have said today. Think about other things that you can embrace about the holidays. Just open yourself to the possibility that this actually might be the most wonderful time of the year. Despite everything else, okay? I am not denying the pain and struggle of everything else. I am not denying reality. What I'm saying is this is the one time of the year where we do get to engage in a little bit of fantasy around bright colors, joyfulness, a strange man who comes down the chimney and gives us presents. There's just so much light. And if you want to go into the whole reason why Christmas happens at this time of year, it's Yule. You bring the Yule log in because it's the darkest time of the year, December 21st. What is it? It's the longest darkness. It's the longest night of the year. It's about getting past that day when it is the darkest day, and now the light starts to return. Every day it gets a little bit lighter. And that's when you go back in time where this all comes from. And it psychologically makes sense. Think about it. How many times have you said, if you live in the Northern Hemisphere, in the last week, God, it gets dark so early. This happens every year. It's not a new thing. But for some reason, every year, it comes as a surprise to us, and we find it very depressing. Well, jingle bells, Batman smells, Robin laid an egg, rocking around the Christmas tree, decorate, put lights on your house if you want to, put little fairy lights in your bedroom, listen to some Christmas music, have a good time. At this time of year, just lean into the light, lean into the holiday spirit, go for it. Be a stupid little kid again. Embrace that. Yes, all of the other stuff is still going on. Watch out for the alcohol. Watch out for the sugar. Watch out about putting yourself in the presence of people who hurt you. Be realistic about your finances. Be honest. Maintain your boundaries. And you'll make it to New Year's. Now, New Year's is a whole other ball of wax that we're going to talk about in another video. But I hope that these tips will be helpful to you. And the most important thing I want you to take away from this video is that it is perfectly normal to struggle at this time of year. It is the hardest time of year. But remember the paradox. It's the hardest time of year and it's the most wonderful time of year. And if you can just realize that both of those things can coexist and you can just sort of maybe lean one way, lean yourself a little bit like a Christmas tree. That's a little bit veering to the right. If you can do that, you can get through this and actually maybe enjoy it. And that's what I want more than anything, is I want you to have a Merry Christmas. Or a Happy Christmas if you're in the UK. So tell me about it, man. Come at me in the comments. Let me know, what do you do to get that Christmas spirit going for you? And what other tips can you share about maintaining healthy boundaries, physical health, mental health at this time of year? Please share your tips and techniques with us and your stories, because we are all helping each other by sharing here. And I am so grateful for all of you. And I am so actually excited about all of the Christmas festivities. Like, I'm really into it now. Now it's going to be me wearing something Christmassy every day until Christmas, because I have a whole bunch of Christmas shirts. Because my son wanted the festive, so I gave him the festivities. Thank you guys so much for watching. I love you so much, and I will see you again real soon. Love you. Remember, you are loved. I promise you, you are. Love you. Bye.